Wondering how to turn your dreams of entrepreneurship into a reality? Take the mystery out of success, clear the fog of failures, and use speaking to create a six-figure business. Learn the success strategies of international speaker and business coach Katya Ravi. Learn business from brave to rave.
Bonjour. Katya Ravi here. First of all, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a fantastic holiday season and that you had a great time with family, great time going over your, what we call in French, the bilan, which is your numbers at the end of December. I hope you were pleased with that. And I hope you had a blast planning your January and seeing how 2020 will be different. How much growth do you want to have in your business? What are the things that you loved last year that you didn't like so much? What are the things that you loved last year that you would like to see more of this year? And what did you do too much of last year that you do not want to see as much in 2020? So one of the couple of things happened during the holidays, which is going to make this podcast, I hope, fun for all of you. So my family came. My parents are from France. If you listen to our last podcast, you heard my dad, who was a very, very successful entrepreneur and made quite a bit of success is in his town, and as well as my mom actually, they now live half in France and half in the Caribbean. So they have a house in France where they spend the summer there, and a house in the Caribbean where they spend the winter and fall there. And something kind of something got triggered. So they came here. We had a fantastic time as usual. And but I was telling my mom, I said, like some of the thing we were talking about business, and some of the thing, then I'm getting a little. I'm having a hard time to hear lately. It's, oh my gosh, Katya, you're so successful and you're very lucky. And I keep saying that, luck really has nothing to do with it. I think I made a podcast, I think it was like 3 months ago on this. And I work hard. And I had this conversation with my parents. My mom said a lot of people are telling them, oh my gosh, you're so lucky. You live in the Caribbean and you have 2 houses and my parents worked so hard for that. I was raised in that environment, and my parents actually did not give us, we didn't get allowance. I bought my own car, my first own car. They definitely did not buy my car. We were not really dressed in brands. My parents didn't believe in paying the extra money for brands. So I was kind of raised in that kind of a mentality of working hard, having ethics, having very high standards, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very grateful for it. And but one of the things then we ended up talking about was luck and all of these great things. Well, during the holidays, we had my neighbors decided to cut some trees. And I know you're like, okay, Katya, really? We're going into tree cutting now? Just bear with me here. So we had hired tree cutters, and actually, to tell you a funny story, my parents 15 years ago helped me cut a tree. So my gosh, I was young, and now looking back, I'm like, oh, I cannot believe I took that on. What if it fell in the house? And anyway, I guess when we're young, we make those kind of decisions. But I came home one day, and I saw some people cutting dead trees who were not really, really close to the house, and really about to fall. And my neighbors had said he was going to take care of it, and he's an amazing neighbor, and I was so grateful. Then he was hiring people to get the tree done, and 2 trees. And we saw those guys. We actually had hired these guys to cut a tree. It was very far from the house, and a long time ago, they were really cheap. They had come, they had stopped by and say, "Hey, we're cutting trees. I can't even remember how much it was, but it was kind of ridiculous how cheap it was. So we did hire them because for us, the tree was so far away from the house. We're like, even if something happened, there's no damage could be done. We kind of assume at that price, the people didn't have insurance, which is a big deal for me. I like to be sure about the outcome. But here, seeing that there was nothing to get damage around, I was like, let's go for it. I didn't want the tree to die during a storm and fall. And so anyway, I came home one day, and the trees are getting cut. And it's the same guys that my neighbor hired, than we had. And we see them, no. So I was a part of the disaster relief with North Carolina Baptist ministry. So I know that when we cut trees, we need to have the chaps, and we need to have our goggles, and we need to have our gloves, special gloves. And there is a lot of teaching onto cutting trees to help these people on disaster relief. So since I had done that training, seeing someone cutting a tree with no chaps, no gloves, no goggles is always a little scary for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if something happened to him? And he had help. He had a woman with him and another guy. Guys, this is the point. If you hire someone who is going to be doing a work for you, you cannot leave it to luck. I can tell you, we actually decided to leave the house, to not be inside the house. We were in the backyard because there was no way the tree was not going to fall on the house. First of all, it's super close to my house, closer to my house than my neighbor's house. I have an outdoor kitchen, and I was like, that's it. It's going to fall on the fence and on the outdoor kitchen. And literally until the end, even them, the tree cutters, didn't actually believe it was not going to fall on the house. The tree fell by magic, pure luck. It did not fall on the house. But I can tell you, for 2 hours, these 3 people who were involved in cutting the trees, and my parents, me, and the kids, we were actually so stressed watching this. The tree was not coming out the right way. They were pulling it with a rope. And it really reminded me of business. You run your business. Do you leave it up to luck? Do you hire things that you really shouldn't hire? Or you hire just because you're on such a tight budget and you're like, well, I have only this, and it's really, really tedious. There could have been amazing damage to the house. The second tree then they cut the next day actually fell literally on the fence. They said they thought this one was on the house as well. By magic luck, a branch fell before, so actually did not fall on the house, but it fell like right there on the fence. Now, no damage, but I can tell you, my poor neighbor was sitting on, outside going, like, I haven't saw him sweat that much. Like, poor guy, it was so stressed. We were all stressed, and it's really leaving something to luck. And I wonder how much of that is really happening in your business. And this is something really big. We think we're capable. We think we can look it up on Google. We think we can look it up on YouTube. We think we can learn. The problem is we can, but how much time does it take you to learn all of these skills? How much time does it take you to implement these skills? And I can tell you, half of the time, you do not do it in the right order. To be able to have a successful business, there is a formula. I do believe that there is a formula, and there is a formula of doing things in the order that they are meant to be. I assure you, I had a new client not too long ago. Beautiful website, did the launch of a website. It's absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. Don't know. When I asked her who was her ideal client, she was not able to really tell me. If you are not able to tell me who's your ideal client and you already have a beautiful website, the website will have to get redone. She spent $4,000 on a website. It is gorgeous, but the content inside is definitely not relative to what she does. It is not grabbing her avatar. It's not grabbing her ideal client. She's not talking to them. She's talking to everybody. And because of that, I do believe then that $4,000 is she's going to have to repay at least half of it to have it redone. The pictures on the website are amazing, beautiful photos, but they don't relate to her ideal client. So all of these things are things that you need to take in consideration. And having a business coach is just that. Having a business coach is having someone who will tell you in some ways what to do, how to implement it, what are your numbers, what are your goals, who's your ideal client, what pain point do you fix? All of these things is what a business coach does. And what does that give you? That gives you the flexibility and the time to be able to do what you do best, which is your trade. Be the face of the company. Do what you need to do. Of course, you have some, office work and all this, but don't try to do it all. This is one of the major points that I wanted to start the year with. You're trying to do it all. You're trying to be your own media manager, social media manager. You're trying to be your own email copywriter. You're trying to, some cases, being your own website builder. Someone's launching a website about a month and a half ago. Then I got an email. Then the new website was launched. You go on it. Oh my gosh, you totally can see. Then there's no way this is a professional who did that. Client can see it. And therefore, you don't look professional. You look like you did not want to spend the money to do something good. The problem is you don't want to spend the money if you don't have the rest figured out. And this is a major, major part of having a business. And you guys know, if you've been listening to me, it's knowing your ideal client, knowing what you do, what pain point do you fix, and then address yourself to the client, whether it's on the website or on email or all of that. So that's one of the things that happened over the holidays. Then this entire time I was looking at the tree falling. I was like, oh my gosh, and And I actually did not panic. I was stressed, but I did not panic because, in the big scheme of things, there's nothing I could change about the situation. The tree was half fallen for about 20 minutes, and you could tell it was falling on the house. So it was just like, okay, like, how are we going to be dealing with this and all of that. The second thing is I'm super excited. I'm getting married. So I'm getting married in May, and I could not be happier with the man I am going to marry. We're a great match, and if you guys listen to I think it was our Christmas episode, he was on it, and we planned the honeymoon and all that, but in the big scheme of things, we actually had not planned truly the wedding. Here and there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but this is coming up. And we sat down, and when we sat down, we realized how much we still had to do. And this is it. It's if we don't plan ahead, and you guys are so good about doing this. We are all, I say you guys, but me the first, we're so good about planning a honeymoon, planning a vacation, planning a wedding, planning a birthday party for our kids, planning all these amazing things in our life. Yet we don't plan for the business. The business should be our priority, where we should be planning the most. And I definitely see that we don't. Why is that? So what I would like for you to do is really tell yourself, at the end of January, how much money am I going to bring in? And then take it a further step. It's not just great to say, okay, I'm going to make money in January. It's how are you going to make that money? Where is the money going to come from? And how will you make that happen? And this is where, you guys know me, I talk a lot about speaking, how speaking can give us an infinite supply of leads and clients and so much. Then I did my planning as well, and I am so excited. I am getting so busy with my one-on-one clients, so now I really curate who I take, but I'm actually opening a group. So in the group, this is a group where we will be, I will be teaching how to use speaking, how to create a signature talk, how to pitch yourself. How do you get paid? How do you convey to the event organizers that you're the one that they want? How do you create your entire signature talk? To be able to do that, you see, this was very interesting to me, because there's so many people who teach speaking and who really teach very intensely, and with my one-on-one with all of my clients who are my one-on-one client, private clients, I do teach that. But we go through the business coaching, and there is some foundations. And one of the things then I was really battling with was, I don't want to just have a group of something that's going to be appealing to people. Everybody wants to speak. Everybody wants to know how to do public speaking. But I felt like there was an ethic issue here. Because I was like, if I just teach speaking, they will not be able to know what conference to pitch themselves in and who to write and how to write it if they don't have the foundation. And so this is something I really thought about, and it is going to be on speaking. The outcome is, people at the end of the group, at the end of the 10 weeks, will have their signature talk, but the foundation are going to be included. I don't want to be teaching something that is not going to be able to be used by client. So I am very excited about this. This is brand new. This is launching in February. And of course, because I'm only taking 10% per group. Of course, because it is a group, it is at a price point that is so much lower than my private one-on-one client. And it's really going to be focusing on speaking. So if you think then you are interested in that, I would love to know about this. You can message me or email me. You can go on the website www.ravestrategystudio.com, Rave Strategy Studio. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. And that's pretty, that's pretty much what was this holiday about. So to recap, please don't lead your business with luck like these guys with the trees, and really plan. Don't leave luck. Don't go back through your last month. Go like, I should have made more. You need to look at it before and make a substantial goal and something that you have written down. And you guys should see my office. I have barn doors in my office, and there is papers. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 papers on it. Were taped on it. I know when I wake up in the morning, I write my intentions for the day, my intentions as a mom, my intentions as a wife to be, but also my intentions for the business. And today I really want to leave you with this. This podcast will definitely bring you so much. So please subscribe. Please leave us a review. This is how it works in the podcast world. And if one day you have a podcast, I assure you will be happy when people leave review. And if you want, take a picture of it, reshare it with others. And it's always, always an amazing tool for us to grow and to get to be known, and especially with the book coming out, which you'll get to know. I'll share a little bit more about the book probably in the next months or so, as the first draft is gonna have to be due pretty soon, and I continue working on it. With that, guys, I wish you an amazing 2020 in your business. If you need to contact me, my email is katia@katiarave.com. And I look forward to hear from you. If you need anything, or if you want to just explore a little bit more, I'll be happy to give you a 30-minute business boost conversation, or how to get some leads, but I always offer that, and I wanted to make sure that I offer it to my podcast listeners. And with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Monday. Au revoir.